Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of my merchanting series. Now in this episode I was showing the progress, showing what items I've done, and letting you guys see how far the account has now come. And in this episode I am just going to apologise quickly in advance and say most of the screenshots are of the same items, and it's just one of those things. They're making me good profit, so there's no real point switching. And I recommend to anyone who is merchanting, if you do find an item which is making good profit, you may as well stick with it. And all that being said, you can see that we're starting this episode with 512k cash and an in-game time of 3 hours. So let's see how I do, and I hope you enjoy the episode. The first few screenshots of this episode are just going to be showing the runes as they built up whilst I was flipping them. And I'm not really going to focus too much on runes, as I did that quite a lot in the first episode, but I did just want to include a few screenshots of them, as I did do them to get a bit more money, and I didn't want to just let people assume that I'd built my way up, because when I do start the new markets, which you'll see in like 20 seconds, I do have over double what I ended the last episode on. So I did just want to include a few screenshots, as well as showing the screenshot that I did break the 1 mil marking, which you did just see. So I carried on doing runes for a bit. I got myself up to about 1.2, 1.3 mil I think, and then I started on the new items which you can see now. So I bought myself some flared trousers and a wizard's hat with a gold trim. And if you know those items, you might realise that they are both treasure trail rewards. So maybe you can guess now that the market that I've gone into is treasure trails. So this is a completely different item to runes. There's a lot less of them in the game. They have a lot smaller limit. However, they were making me a lot more profit. Now I'll explain more about how and why they work in episode 2.5, but for now I'm just going to be showing the profits and letting you guys know how I got on with them. So you could just see there that the flared trousers sold for about 60k profit, and the wizard's hat for about 55k I think it was, and they were going fine at about 10% profit, which was buying them at -5 and selling them at +5%. However, after some time I did decide try and get a bit more profit on them, and I was able to get closer to 15, in some cases even about 20% profit on these items, which was really a massive margin to have. And just for example, now you can see the flared trousers, buying them at 552k and selling them at 648k, just shy of 100k profit. And a lot of the other items on the screen you can see that I'm making a similar kind of profit on. And once I built my money up, I could afford other things like the wizard's robe tops. I bought 2 of those for 882k, and I managed to sell them on for a profit of about 160k and get 1,044k for them. So even the wizard's robe tops, combining them with the hats, the flared trousers, I was able to make quite a lot of money. The wizard's hats, they were doing great towards the start, however they did start rising, and they were starting to become unbuyable below med. And you can see, for example there, I bought one for 601k, and then I managed to instantly sell it for over 60k above mid. So the market for those did suddenly increase. I'm not sure why, but it's just one of those things. I now had to adapt my offers, but they are still able to be merched. And just a final screenshot of the flared trousers which I was doing. I was able to buy 2 of them for 1.1 mil, and they were consistently buying and selling at these prices. I couldn't really get them any cheaper, but I'm sure you could if you were patient enough. And I was able to sell them at 1.28 mil, so I was getting just shy of 100k profit per, so just under 200k for the both of them. And combining that with the hats, with the robe tops, that was making me profit probably about 400 to 500k profit per limit. So to see where I'm going to finish the episode off at, I've already collected my wizard hat G, but I thought I'd record the rest of it. So I've got my flared trousers, which I paid about 50k below med for. Then I've got 2 wizard robe tops, which I paid about 30k below med for. And all of these 3 items, plus my 73k in my pouch price check. Put that in there, that in there. So we are currently at 2890k. which is just a bit below 3 mil. However, if we sell these for 50k above like we were, those two alone will practically bring us up to 3 mil. And again, if we can sell those for 30k above, which I was doing easily, and that for like 40k above, you know, we're going to be easily over that 3 mil barrier. So that is by the end of episode 2. So let's go have a quick look, see how much actual in-game time that is. And you can see that I only have 4 hours of time played on this account. So that's probably a bit misleading in terms of the last episode. What's probably happened is, on the first episode I played only just 3 hours, and now I'm probably at something like 4 hours 50. But it just does go to show I hardly ever had to log in and spend any time online once I worked out what prices they were trading at. And even doing that took literally 10 minutes. So you can see I've really spent less than 2 hours online, and I have managed to make my money go from 500k up to what is effectively 3 mil, but let's just call it 2.89 mil, I think it was. So about 2.4 mil profit in just under 2 hours of game time on a level 3 account. So now I'm currently at maybe Frost Dragon's money, which is pretty good, and hopefully will only improve from here. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode, guys, and I will see you in the next one.